Okay, we're live. My name is Kent. Channel is Bitcoin Believer, and I am in Southern California. Get rid of that comment from the other day. It is December 10th, and it's 2:03 in the PM here in San Diego, California. What you're looking at right now is you're looking at the price of Bitcoin. It was just over 44,000, actually just not too long ago. Let's look at the chart here. 44,000. Let's look at, one day. Let's see. Yeah, it was over 44,000. Well, it showed up on 44,000. Maybe it's not showing up on this graph, but it's bouncing around 43, 44,000, high 43s, lower 44,000s. So whenever I see times like this, I always look at it like, hey, this is a great time to get in. But I want to talk about everybody's, I listen to a lot of YouTube. I also listen to a lot on the internet. So I kind of always have my interest out. My interest is Bitcoin. I like economies. I like to talk about money. I like to talk about financial stuff. That's my interest. So, I'm not listening to, I like history too. And I make, AI videos about history. But my real interest is in finances because it affects so many people's lives. So many people have a hard time putting together any kind of money, or having a hard time to find, a way to kind of get by in this world. And that's everybody. And we are so blessed. I'm telling you, we are so blessed to be in the United States of America. And I know most people don't get this or understand this. I don't care how many people tell you that the economy of the United States of America is in the tank, going to hell in a handbasket. Yes, it has problems. But we are so far ahead of other places in the world, you can't even believe it. And I'm going to show you one here real quick. So whenever you listen to people say, hey, it's going bad, everything's horrible. No, it's not. It's actually pretty good in the United States of America. And if you're here, you're very blessed, and you should be very thankful for what you have, because we have it much better than the rest of the people in the world. And the main reason for that is because of the fact that the dollar has been internationally accepted as currency of the world. Usually referred to as world reserve currency. And what that means is you can go any place in the world and exchange dollars, and people are happy to get them. And that helps us become a debt-based economy and not have we don't have much of a manufacturing base anymore. And we don't do much anymore in this country except sell debt to other countries. And everybody else is glad to use it or glad to take it. I go to Mexico quite a bit. We live right close to the border. I go to Mexico quite a bit. I've never been denied anybody down there for taking dollar bills. So if I walk into a store and want to buy something in Tijuana, I buy it, I walk out with whatever, and I pay with dollar bills. And they're always happy to receive it. Occasionally, in transactions down there, I get a peso back, a couple pesos or something like that. I bring it back to the United States and try to use them. Nobody wants to take the peso. If I take a Mexican peso down here to AM/PM or the local convenience store and try to hand it to them, they won't take it. But if I give them a $100 bill, they'll take it really easily. And the same way in Mexico, they'll do the same thing. I'm not a wide traveler, but wherever country I've ever been to, I've never had any problem taking cash or money into. So we're very blessed that we have this advantage of the fact that our dollars are so widely accepted around the world, simply because of convenience. There's a principle of money, and I want to do. Let me see if I can. Well, I don't want to go in there now, because you get if you start searching that kind of stuff on the internet, you get some real, you get different information. But there's about 5 principles of money. One of the principles of money is the two that I usually refer to as one that what we agree upon is money. So in the United States, a dollar is a dollar. But if you bring the U.S. or the Mexican peso in the United States, we don't accept that as money. So it is money, but it's not. Maybe some people will take it in the United States, but it's not something we can trade out in regular commerce. You can't go to the grocery store with the Mexican peso. You can't buy gas here. You can't do anything. So that doesn't serve as money in our country because nobody accepts it. So we haven't agreed upon it as money. So the number one thing is you have to all agree that it's money. And you're talking about precious metals. We all agree gold is money. We all agree that, although gold is not something that you just can transact. And if I went down here to AM/PM and tried to give them a dollar bill or a gold coin, unless it was a numismatic gold coin, and it had there are $20 gold pieces, you wouldn't want to give it to the gas station attendant down here, because they'd only give you $20 worth of paper money. And of course, that $20 gold piece is worth a lot more It's $2,000 an ounce right now, so it's worth a lot more than $20 paper. That's how much inflation we've had. But you can't transact in gold because it's not portable. So the two concepts I always say about money is, number one, it's got to be portable. Number two, it's got to be accepted as money. We have to all agree that's what we're going to use as transactional currency. We can all walk around with it in our pocket, and anybody will pretty much accept it anytime. So money has to be portable, and it has to be agreed upon. And not all money in the world is agreed upon, and not all money in the world is portable. So, or not all money, most money is portable, but not all things that we consider as money is portable, like gold, silver, precious metals. That's why I'm not, as much problem as there is in the world right now, there's so many people still touting gold and silver. I don't know why, because it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you got a little gold or silver because you think that the electricity is going to go out and you know, the internet's going to shut down, and maybe you're going to give it to somebody for a little barter with it with a little bit. Maybe that's what you could hold some gold and silver for. But as far as putting your money into gold and silver and thinking that you're going to get much appreciation on, I would be very skeptical of that. I doubt that that's going to happen. As the title of this video says, the poor man's way out of poverty is Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has proven over and over again to be resilient. It comes back even though it goes down. It holds its value very well. And all you need to do is study it watch it for, you know, a little while, a period of time, you know, before you really take a deep dive into it, or take a deep dive into it and just study it. But watch it and see how it trades, because it's pretty predictable. And that's why I call it the poor man's way out of poverty, because you don't have to have a lot of resources to figure out Bitcoin. I mean, you don't have, I mean, it's like, I know that in trading stocks today, there's a lot of people that have the advantage because they have computer trading systems, they have connections, they have information before you have information, and they're able to game the system. In Bitcoin, you really can't game that system, not as easily as you can with stocks. And of course, I think precious metals is just not a good idea at all. And I'm not going to go into that in this video because I go on way too long. But Bitcoin, and buying at the right time. And and you buy the right time because you start to understand the way the market trades. Right now is a great time to buy Bitcoin I'll show you a couple of reasons why. One of the reasons is that we are very soon, hopefully, to get an ETF. And these are the ETFs that are getting ready to be decided on by the Security and Exchange Commission. So this is what an ETF is an exchange traded fund, meaning now that it's being granted the privilege of trading on a stock exchange with a ticker symbol and having investors put money in from pensions, retirement funds and all, are now being able to go into this. And this is something that's being regulated by the Security and Exchange Commission. It's being something that's being protected, and it's not like FTX or some of these other Mt. Gox or these other things or cryptos that have lost money. Now, if you put something in an ETF, it's going to be monitored and regulated by the Security and Exchange Commission. And it's interesting, almost every one of these, I think more than one will get approved, because they want to give the retail customer choices. So you can't just do grayscale, because if you don't like grayscale, then you don't buy an ETF or you don't buy Bitcoin. So they'll probably do 3 or 4 of these. I don't know. I would say grayscale. I mean, I would say Kathy Woods with ARC21. She's been on this pretty hard. She probably would get it. The other one would be the iShares. Where's that at? That's BlackRock right here. iShares. So BlackRock will probably get approved. ARC will probably get a grayscale. I don't know the rest of these, but look at how many we've got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 that are trying to get approval by the Security and Exchange Commission. And look at this; they're all refiles. So they've already been filed. And if you've been following this very closely, you know this has been going on for a long, long time, years and years and years. This idea of getting an exchange traded fund for an ETF for Bitcoin has been happening for a long, long, long time. So this is not a new occurrence. It just happens. And it's just happening that it's starting to come to fruition because it's been going on for so long. And I do think this time we'll get it done. The other thing is I talk about custodian. Who holds the Bitcoin? And I always say Coinbase. Well, look at who everybody's using as their third-party custodian for their Coinbase, for their customers. So if you're a fund holding people's money, you can't also hold the Bitcoin. You have to have a third party. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. You got to have a third party. And Coinbase is everybody's choice except for Wise, Origin, Bitcoin Trust. They've got Fidelity, and then somebody else has got VenX, got Gemini. Everybody else has got Coinbase. Another interesting thing, I mean, this is kind of a weird deal. I was going to show you Coinbase real quick. Let me get out of this. So if you don't know anything about Coinbase, and everybody's waiting for this ETF, but all you need to do is buy Coinbase stock. I mean, they're going to be the custodians for all these ETFs. So they're going to hold a lot of Bitcoin. So in other people's name, you know, the trust's name, and of course the people that are managing the trust are holding it for the individual investors. But Coinbase stock is trading right now. So you don't need, if you're waiting for some sort of public ticker symbol to buy Bitcoin, right there it is. It's Coinbase. It's called Coin, C-I-O-N. I used to own this stock back in the day when it was not doing very well. The other thing I was telling you, and I just found this out today. This is kind of a side note, but you've got two founders of Coinbase. One's name is Brian Armstrong, and this other guy's name is Fred Ersham. Now, this is interesting to me personally. And the reason this is interesting to me personally, because if you look at this guy's name is Frederick Fred Ernest Ersham III. My dad's name was Ernest. My grandfather's name was Fred. My middle name is Frederick, and my last name is E-S-K-A-M. So if you get rid of the H and the R and put a K in there, that's my name. So basically, this guy, I don't know if there's any common origin between us. I mean, he's from Boston. I'm from Nebraska. I mean, when I read through he doesn't have much of a biography here, but man, that's such a coincidence. This guy's name is so close to my name and so close to my dad and my grandfather's name. And of course, that's my middle name. So this guy's basically got my name. And I don't even know who he is. But I'll tell you one thing, the guy's going to be very wealthy. He is very wealthy now, but this ETF thing gets passed. These guys like him and Brian, I'm familiar with the other guy because I've never met him, but I've seen him. I've seen a lot of information that he puts out. He puts out a lot of stuff on Twitter. Brian Armstrong, this guy right here, and he's got my hairstyle. So anyway, yeah, one's got my name, the other one's got my hairstyle. So yeah, Brian Armstrong, he's a young guy. I like him. I mean, he's the direct opposite of Sam Bankman-Fried. This guy's really he's not trying to play people. He's not trying to do all the crazy stuff Bankman-Fried was doing by looking like a computer geek, try to get people to think, oh, I'm a computer geek. I'm really smart. Like people need to follow me. This guy's really down to earth and he seems really legitimate. Let me tell you, he wouldn't be getting BlackRock's approval for being a custodian unless he was very, very good. And he wouldn't be getting everybody else's approval for being custodian unless he's very good. So that's who I put my trust in, is Brian Armstrong. And he's been around a long, long, long time. So anyway, I would definitely stick with this dude. Not this guy. This guy's going to prison. This guy's going to prison. And probably for the rest of his life. And this guy is not a good guy either. Guy from Binance. I wouldn't trust him either. So, and of course, I like Vitalik. So Vitalik's a good guy too. So I would trust these guys, but I wouldn't trust anybody else. You got to be really careful who you trust in the altcoin market, because there's some real nefarious people out there, some real bad guys. And that's why I'm saying, if you want to be safe, just buy Bitcoin, buy it at the right time, and you should don't put money in that you need to bring in and bring out. You need to stay with it for a while, because it does take some time for you to get I bought Bitcoin at $55,000 before. So, that money got pretty much thrown away until it looks like it's going to come back. But even like El Salvador, they bought Bitcoin. They invested as a country when it was very high. And now it's starting to show dividends by the fact even Michael Saylor bought it when it was pretty high, and now he's made $2 billion recently. But I want to show you this, what's going on. Like I talked a little bit about earlier about us being so privileged in the United States of America. So this is the guy that has just become the president of Argentina, Javier Milei. I think it's Milei. Okay, Javier. So he just became the president today. And of course, one of the things that he ran on is the fact that he wants to use the United States dollar as the currency in Argentina. So he was installed today, but you got to read some of the stuff that he's talking about. I mean, he's not talking about this is going to be an easy run. In an inaugural speech, Argentina's Javier Milei prepares nation for painful shock adjustment. Now, this is where you better be thankful that you're in the United States of America, because listen to this. South America's second largest economy is suffering 143% annual inflation. The currency has plunged, and 4 in 10 Argentinians are impoverished. Almost 50% of them are impoverished. The nation has a yawning fiscal deficit, a trade deficit of $43 billion, plus a daunting $45 billion debt to the International Monetary Fund, with $10.6 billion due to multilateral and private creditors by April. There is no money, is Milei's common refrain. He repeated it Sunday to explain why a gradualist approach to the situation which will require financing was not an option. So he's not talking about moving slowly into something or playing these word games like the Federal Reserve does. He's saying we're going to have to just bite the bullet, and it's going to be tough. And there's some other stuff I was reading down here about it. But they're looking for, he's basically telling the people that just elected him that we're going to be in serious hurt here very soon. Just reading down here some other stuff. I'm just kind of glancing through it right now. Oh my gosh. I always do this. Whenever I start the live, I was reading something that was very interesting in this. And then when I start the live and I start talking about other stuff, I lose my place. Okay, as a candidate, Milei pledged to purge the political establishment of corruption, eliminate the central bank. He is accused of printing money and fueling inflation, and replace the rapidly depreciating peso with the U.S. dollar. But after winning, he tapped Lewis, former central. Okay, that's what they always do. They always say they're going to do something, and they don't do it. So yeah, but he's going to use the dollar. So there you go. Economically, we're just like Argentina. Okay, let me see. Okay, in the past 12 years, GDP per capita fell 15%. A contest was accumulated 5,000% inflation. This is where we're going in the United States of America. So, but the thing about the United States is the dollar is so widely accepted around the world that no matter how much debt we accumulate, there are people willing to take it off our hands. So that's the difference between us and Argentina, and that's why you should be very thankful to be in the United States. If you are in the United States, if you're watching this. I do get people from around the world watch this, though. In fact, I had a real nice comment here recently. Someone said that they'd like to hear me on the internet every day, so I appreciate that. So Javier's got his work cut out for him. This is not going to be an easy fix for him. Milei, 53, rose to fame on television with profanity-laden tirades against what he called the political caste. He parlayed his popularity in a congressional seat and then just, okay, that's how he got to power. There was something here that was really interesting. We don't have alternatives, and we don't have time. We don't have margin for sterile discussion. Our country demands action and immediate action, or attention, immediate. Okay, he said action twice. Our country demands action and immediate action. The political class left the country at the brink of its biggest crisis in history, he said. In his inaugural address of thousands of supporters in capital Buenos Aires. We don't desire the hard decisions that we will need to be made in the coming weeks, but can't say that word. Lamentably, they don't leave us any options. So yeah, this is not, I mean, that is what we fear in the United States if we ever lose the fact that we're world reserve currency, but I doubt we lose world reserve currency because it's so convenient. So many people have already been so vested in having dollars, then they got so used to it that the US dollar has just kind of been ingrained in the world financial system, and everybody just kind of gravitates to it, just like this guy. He's looking for immediate responses, and what's he do? The first thing he does is he just goes to the US currency because that's the most stable thing in the world, and that's what everybody's used to. Just go to the US currency and we get some stability. And he's talking about massive, we need to make decisions quickly. And the quickly thing is go to the US dollar. So that's the way the rest of the world views us. And here in the United States, all we talk about is, how bad we have it. Believe me, we don't have it that bad. The other thing I want to bring up is this guy right here. This guy, this just shows you the mentality of the people that are creating content on the internet. Number go up, Bitcoin startling surge is inexplicable as ever. So I want to read just a little bit of what this guy says. And this is this guy right here. I don't know who he is, but who's he writing for here? Financial Times. That's why I don't read the Financial Times. And I think this is out today. So this is but anyway, December 8th, we're December 10th, so a couple days old. But he says, this is what the guy says for the Financial Times. If you ever see me in any forum recommending that people should buy crypto, then one of two things has happened. Either someone has created a deep fake of me, so they created an AI of this guy, and the AI saying buy crypto, or I have been kidnapped. In the later scenario, buy crypto would be my secret distress signal to call the cops. So if you ever see this image, say buy crypto, he's saying you better call the police because I would never do that in my real. But now he's kind of coming to what the article is about, is the fact that, hey, nonetheless, it's hard to ignore the startling rally in Bitcoin. Trust me, I've tried. Somehow, despite a swirling hellfire of regulatory aggression and legal strife afflicting several of the key institutions in this space, the price of this token has risen 160% this year. Not a typo. To 44,000 in a rally that has accelerated sharply over the past week or so. The comfortability elapses any traditional assets. Yeah. So he's telling you, yeah, would never recommend this in a million years. But hey, right now it's hard to ignore, and I can't deny what's going on here. And that's why I'm recommending this. This is another thing I want to bring to your attention. Somebody has written, and this is the Unchained, whoever that is, should first-time Bitcoin investors buy now or wait for the ETF? They go into this long discussion about whether you should buy the Bitcoin now. You can read it later. I'm not going to read it because I read it and it doesn't really tell you much. And at the end of the day, they tell you the old standby go-to that everybody always says, and I love it. And when I was a broker, that's what you love to hear, was dollar cost averaging, because you don't ever pin yourself down on one point a time, one snapshot in time. You just say, put some money in, a little bit here, a little bit there, and over time it'll work out if it's a good thing. And that's what he's saying. That's basically what this argument says at the end. Dollar cost averaging is a strategy where investors. So if you buy, as he's just talking about. But what I just love the contemplation, that the how he has to contemplate whether to buy it or not. I mean, you got the halving. It's been up massively this year. It's going up all the time. In fact, every time I click into it, sometimes it'll go up just while I'm doing these videos. And he's still deciding whether to buy or not. And you got what does this represent right here? These ETFs in dollar value. How many hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars that's ready to buy Bitcoin if these ETFs get approved, which almost seems like a done deal to me, but you never know. Someone could throw a monkey wrench in it, but to me, it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen in January, it's going to happen in February, March, April, May. It's going to happen. There's something's going to happen here one of these days. And here's the deadlines. Security file deadlines, the next deadline, so they have to wait. So yeah, they're just going to keep filing, and eventually they're going to say yes. But I made a video yesterday where the SEC is giving them feedback and telling them how to amend their filings so they do get approved. So I think that we don't have to worry about it not getting approved. It will get approved. The date is the only thing we don't know, the exact date. We know that it will get approved because there's been so much money invested in this. There's so much money on the sidelines, they're ready to buy it. and there's so much interest in it. And when you have people like BlackRock, who owns 2/3 of the S&P 500, that's massive amounts of money. So you're not going to, in BlackRock with Larry Fink, those guys are insiders. They're not going to waste their time on an ETF if they don't think there's going to be approval. So I would be very skeptical of people telling you it's not going to be approved. Let's look with the Dow. Well, of course, the Dow, it's, where did it close at? It's been so long since I followed the Dow because of the fact that it's not of interest to me anymore. I'm not of interest in stock. I used to be very interested in the stock market, now up a little bit. But I'm gonna look at these overall thing. I'm just totally consumed myself with crypto. I have no interest in the market. There's not a stock out there that I would buy right now. Yeah, that's at all-time highs right now. So yeah, they're going to continue to, if you think interest rates are coming down anytime soon, you better shake yourself and wake up, because you're sleeping. You're sleeping. Interest rates are not coming down. They're going to stay high. In fact, I'm going to show you a guy that I listen to. This is a guy, I like this guy. Where's he at? This guy right here. This guy is called the Uneducated Economist. Guy does these videos out of his car. It's by his own admission, not educated, uneducated. I don't even think, he barely graduates from high school. That's positive, by the way. The fact that he didn't go to college or school, business, law like I did, that's a positive. I congratulate this man for steering clear of the traps I fell into. Law school, business school, all those things. The money and the time that I wasted doing that was just, can't be retrieved. It's over with. This guy cleared his mind of all the garbage I learned in school, started getting interested in economics, studied the Federal Reserve and their papers, and has a real innate desire to learn and analyze information, and does a really nice job of it. And I've been listening to him here recently, and I'm really impressed with what he says. One of the things he's saying, and you need to pay attention, is what's happening in our world today. This is very, very interesting. And I hope I can convey this point in a way people understand what I'm saying. When their interest rates are where they're at right now, and everybody's expecting an interest rate cut, that's like information that people will act on, even though it really hasn't realized yet or have been done yet. So the Federal Reserve is kind of playing this game where it's kind of a mind game. We're high, but we're not saying we're going lower or we're going to go higher. A lot of people are saying we're going to go lower. We're not saying that. We're saying we're here. And we're going to let the people's minds play with this. And so if you think inflation's coming down, or you think interest rates are coming down, then we're going to let you just think about that. And we're just going to play this propaganda game. And we're just going to throw little tidbits of information out there, or we'll get a lot of information out there, but we're not going to give any precise information. We're just going to let the market kind of go where it's got. So when people talk about the 2% inflation rate that they're trying to hit, what he talks about is that's not. People hear that in their brain and they think that we're going to lower the inflation, we're going to get down to 2%. That's not what they're talking about. What they're talking about is this kind of this overall floating inflation rate. And it has to be 2% over average over a long period of time. So we had low interest rates for a long time. Now we've got high interest rates. So the overall average over all that time may be like just a little over 2% right now, but it's hovering around 2%. So they're pretty comfortable with where they're at. So they're not, but there's a lot of people out there, like people that are educated, that are saying the Fed's over tightened and now we're going to have lower interest rates. That's just that being thrown around out there automatically gives people the belief system that the interest rates are coming down. And that's a powerful tool in itself, is just to be able to have this way of not really pinning yourself down to any kind of number or anything like that, or any kind of strategy or any kind of anything. It's just all kind of how people absorb the information. The information is what it is, but people receive it differently. Some people think interest rates are coming down, so they're waiting for lower interest rates. Some people think interest rates may be higher, so they're willing to jump in here. But it's so, I've never seen it where so many people have so many different conclusions about the information that's going on right now. Very, very interesting. So anyway, if you ever want to listen to this guy, I like him. He doesn't do a lot of advertising on his, he doesn't push things. I hate, two things I hate about YouTube. One of the things is that if you get YouTube Premium, which you see I have, YouTube Premium right up here, I don't watch the ads most people watch. But the good thing about YouTube Premium, you don't get those ads. But the bad thing is now people are embedding content in their, ads in their content. So you'll be watching a video, really intrigued with it. And then the next thing you know, he's talking about, or she's talking about, their new service that you need to sign up for because, you might have your identity stolen. So I have to listen. So I have to look at the, the bar, figure out where the identity commercial ends, and it's them talking, so it's seamless. So all of a sudden, let's just say they're talking about the Titanic, and they're giving you details about the Titanic, and you're very interested in what's going on with the Titanic. And then all of a sudden, they'll say, "Oh, by the way, I want to tell you about my new sponsor, VPN, or my new sponsor, identity theft or something like that." So now you got to watch a 5-minute commercial about identity theft when you really want to watch just about the Titanic. So you got to skip through this, get to where the Titanic is, and then watch the video again. This guy doesn't do that. He doesn't, and he's got quite a few subscribers. Let's see what he's got. It's 132,000 subscribers. So this guy's got the plaque. Get the plaque at 100,000. And, a guy that's not had his mind, I'm telling you, there's so many educated people in this world that cannot think because they've just been so indoctrinated in an education. I'll give you an example. Medical doctors. Medical doctors cannot think for themselves anymore. They so have to buy into the party line, because if you don't want to get out of the country club, you get out of the country club, and guess what? You don't get privileges at the hospital. All of a sudden, everybody's calling you a quack. The people that you associate with at the cocktail parties. Oh, so-and-so believes that, so-and-so, you can't believe that. That's not the party line. That's not what the AMA says. That's not what all the JAMA articles say. That's not all the stuff that goes on. So medical doctors are some of the most rote people I've ever met in my life. What I mean by rote is people that just see things in one way, and that's the only way they can see it. They can't see it. Now, and the reason I say this is because a few of these doctors are starting to go rogue. They're starting to break away from, the mothership, the American Medical Association, and it's starting to really give you the truth about a lot of the things that we used to believe were harmful to us that really aren't that harmful. And I won't go into that because I get a kick out of this guy. He does these lives just like I'm doing right now, but he'll start to get off on a comment, and the comments will lead him out of the actual thing he wants to talk about, which is he wants to talk about the economy. Somebody will come in, somebody say, well, should I buy a car or not a car? Then it'll go on for an hour about whether they should buy a certain car or not. And then it becomes a car. It can become something about cars instead of something about the economy. So anyway, I don't want to get into medical doctors, but anyway, that's what I'm saying about being educated. You can be overeducated and you can be dumbed down by education. And I think that's what happens, especially in today's world, because you got the internet to teach you. You can kind of sort and sift through this stuff yourself with your own mind. Think about what you want to find. And that's what this guy's done. He's basically educated himself by reading the Federal Reserve papers and doing it with an open mind and doing it with not having the cloud of all the education and being able to, not that he has to, buy into certain ideas that, we all kind of learn out of school. I can tell you some of the stuff I learned out of school that was absolutely totally wrong and counterintuitive of the way the world really works. In fact, I made a couple of videos on it before. If you want to go back and watch them. One of them about what you didn't get taught in business school. So yeah, let's see. How long have I been going on now? I've been going, oh my gosh, 34 minutes. I get to talking here and I can't shut up. So let me see. Oh my gosh, I got all kinds of comments. Let's see what we got here. Lenny G, how are you doing today? Hey, Kent. I'm doing well. I'll put you up on the broadcast. Lenny, right there's Lenny G. Hey, Kent. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Got another one here. Forgive me about these names here. This is Immorality. What are you talking about there? Just arrived. Oh, we're talking about Bitcoin. The savior of the poor man. That's what we're talking about. So, let's see what else we got here. We got Golden Dragon 13. Golden 13 Dragon. I always say that differently, Brian. Hello, Ken. Hello to the chat. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming. You were here yesterday and you're today. I love you. You're doing a good job helping me out. I think really appreciate it. And I love this guy. D1360. Hi, Kent. How you doing? The reason I like this is I like his thumbnail. I just, the guy, I just love that thumbnail. He's been following me for a long time. I appreciate that. So let's see what immorality says again. Does BTC have function for sounds like she's been listening to Warren Buffett. Does BTC have functional transaction without governing interference, or is it very regulated now? Function for transacting without government interference. Yeah, I would say it does. Or is it very regulated now? Not really. I wouldn't say that it's regulated. I mean, you have to understand how Bitcoin works. What Bitcoin is a series of computers around the world that are called miners that are using resources, electricity, that could be generated from sun, could wind, solar, and these are allowing them to do computations. There's a lack of, try to think of a better word of saying it, but it's they're solving problems. It's an algorithm they have to solve. The computers have to solve this problem. And then once they're able to solve the problem, the quickest computer does earn the Bitcoin. And then they earn the Bitcoin and they get the reward. So that's how you build the blocks, and it's called a blockchain. All the information for that block is within that blockchain. You can see it live online. I'm not going to go there because I'm going long on time. But you can actually see the live blockchain working online. I think it's blockchain.com. I can't remember what it is. But keep studying, because you're going to find a lot of information out that, like I say, Bitcoin's counterintuitive. And this is what I'm talking about, learning from the real world, not from the school system. Because Bitcoin's counterintuitive. My wife doesn't get Bitcoin, and she can't get Bitcoin because she can't let go of the banking system. When you have to just unlearn the entire financial system to learn Bitcoin. You have to unwind your brain of going down to the bank, talking to your teller, writing a check, using your debit card. You got to unwind all that, because that's third-party intervention by banks. You have to basically eliminate that from your brain and then relearn this as a digital currency, Bitcoin, and miners and rewards and algorithms and private keys. But that's not something a lot of people want to go down on that trail, because it's not that entertaining. Nobody wants to learn about computer programming. Nobody wants to learn about Bitcoin as a computer product. But it's real basic. And my God, there's a lot of information out there right now for you to teach you. So if you really, really have a desire, like this guy that I'm showing you right, he had a desire to learn about the financial system, and he did it on his own. If you're like this guy, you will learn Bitcoin. And he's done it doing these videos out of his car. You know, he's very intelligent. So BTC ready to go to bananas. Go bananas. I agree. I'm waiting for it, man. You know, this is like no other rally we've ever had, because we got this institutional investing component to it that we never had before. Nobody has ever thought this thing was going to come to this point, where you've got billions of dollars on the sidelines ready to buy Bitcoin at one time. So, oh, good. I got another. Okay, so we got Hodl BTC 99. Happy Sunday to everyone. Well, thank you very much. Happy Sunday to you too. I'm about ready to sign off here because I'm going way long. I don't even know if this last few minutes are being recorded, because I've had problems after 30 minutes. We'll just have to see, check it out today and see if I got it fixed. So if there's no other questions, I appreciate the people that participated. I appreciate the 6 people watching and the 2 thumbs ups. That's always very much appreciated, especially that since I've been doing this such a short time. I will try to do these every day. Today I'm a little bit late. I'm at 2:42 in the PM. I'll try to do them sometime before or after, between 12 and 1, maybe 2, probably no later than today. Today is probably one of the later days. So between 1 and 3, I'll probably be popping up someplace here on this live. And if you want to join in, I really would appreciate it. I'd like to build some more people interacting with me, because I think Bitcoin really is an opportunity. I've never seen one like it. I've been a broker. I've been interested in finances my whole life, and I've never seen opportunities like Bitcoin's presenting right now. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.